Welcome back to another video. Pretty fun time of the year here in southwest Minnesota. Time for fungicide. Guys are crazy. Today you're pretty much stuck with me all day. Nick and his friends went up to the lake. My parents are watching our boys. My wife's getting ready for the week, and I really have got one thing on my mind, and that's to make sure we get those food plots taken care of and ready before we get another rain. Overall, I had a heck of a week. It was like Monday or Tuesday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. I was driving my truck home and the transmission cooler line snapped on it. Luckily I was on my road, but drained all the transmission fluid almost out of my truck. So I fixed that, got that going. The next day after work I came out and I was disking with my side-by-side, my Ranger, on the food plots down there, and it started on fire, the Ranger. So I'll bring you some of the footage from that. It was a panic. I really didn't get a ton of footage because it was on fire and it was by the gas tank, so I was very nervous about that. But I got that taken out. The next morning I took a couple of the body panels off that clearly got holes burned in them, and I realized the damage is probably a little more extensive than what I thought. So this next week that's gonna get to go and be looked at by the insurance adjuster. I'm sure I'll have to take it up to the Polaris dealer, get a rundown of what all needs to be replaced on it, but it looks like several body panels, the gas tank, some wiring harnesses, something with the air exchanger or air, there's that tube that connects like the air filter, that looks like it's burnt up. Anyway, so had a heck of a week, but I'm looking forward to just a few hours of time to myself here to finish up getting the rest of these food plots going. So yesterday I was out at the farm. I was working on that food plot I've been talking about several times. I think the heat index was 105 degrees. Things got too hot. Some grass started on fire apparently underneath the Ranger, and yeah, it was burning for a while. So we're kind of I don't know, not the greatest look, but yeah, burned through the fender, almost got into the fuel tank here. Could have been really bad. Now that I think about it, I drove a mile to the neighbor's house from down where I was because Nick told me there was water there. So I drove there, and this thing was on fire the entire time. So now that I'm thinking about it, probably wasn't very smart, but I guess the alternative was literally just to let it sit there and it would have been gone. And my biggest thing with that is it's a grass waterway that connects hundreds of acres north and south. And if by some chance that underbrush and that green grass caught on fire, I could have burned all of the neighbors' properties down. So all around, just not a good deal. I think the takeaway is I need to go to Menards and spend $20 on a little fire extinguisher, and probably should never be anywhere without one of those when you're working in areas without water and when it's warm and something could start on fire. So easily preventable, good lesson learned. Wrestled this quarter panel off, and you can see here, pretty good hole. So this is bolts on like this, and yeah, not good. Quite honestly, that's probably my biggest concern, is that it might have sacrificed the structural integrity of this fuel tank, and obviously I don't want to mess with that. So there is this piece down here, right here, that it covers the it does shield that fuel tank. So that took a lot of it. Without that, I would be almost positive that it would have burnt a hole in this fuel tank and we would have had just a whole different situation. But yeah, so looks like I for sure need that panel, and then potentially guessing a fuel tank, which looks absolutely horrible to install. Looks like whatever plastic piece this is that wraps around and goes back. So I'm sure that's absolutely terrible to install as well. So yeah, I guess next steps are, I want to go through some of the wiring. I can see like it got heat damage, like the flames were coming up through this air intake. I can see some of the wiring harness right here is, looks like it got fried on the outside, but luckily it looks like the wires, like the actual wires in the coating themselves, look fine. It's just the I guess the sleeve that it was in looks burnt, but overall I'd say very lucky to just have this damage. So all right, I took the inside panel off as well. You can see that got burnt pretty good. That's supposed to be a solid shield from the fuel tank, and when I get in here and can see this a little bit better after taking that off, I can see that there's a lot of bubbled plastic on the fuel tank, and honestly I don't know if it's like the dripping of the other plastic from the top, or if the fuel tank itself got so hot that it melted it. I'm just glad, honestly, I had my own Ranger and I didn't have the farm Rangers, because I'd feel pretty bad if I would have started Nick's Ranger is on fire. So I'm glad it was my own. I'm glad nothing too major happened out of this, and hopefully, you know, a couple pieces of plastic and we'll have her fixed back up. And I think the plan is I'm going to go down there, use the mower first, mow that up again, mulch it, and then in the shed there's a nice 3-point little disc for this tractor, and I'm going to hook up to that, I think, and see what we can do after that. But first I was just thinking, I know a couple videos ago I was talking about how this tractor was overheating, and I just got to thinking, I was mowing a bunch of thistles, and it was like just pure, almost like cotton, you know, in just flying all over the place from the heads of those thistles. And I'm like, I wonder if the radiator's not plugged up on this tractor. So I was down and took a look at this. Just taking a look at this, and yeah, that is clearly an issue. I mean, it's completely plugged up. So I've got the air compressor here. I figured this was the case. There was no reason, even on a hot day, the tractor, this thing shouldn't have been overheating like that. So I'm going to take the air compressor, blow this out a little bit, and I don't think we'll have problems with it get running hot again. But I just kind of had that thought. I mean, I was like, what could be causing that? And a little bit of a light bulb moment. So wow, that's unbelievable how dirty that was, but I don't think it's been like that very long. It doesn't take long when you're mowing through just a bunch of weeds that are just throwing material all over the place like that. So yeah, I'm pretty positive that's gonna fix it. Get this air compressor, get this hose put away, and it's time to head over and get to work. All right, I'm back here with the mower now, and it's pretty mulched up. I mean, it keeps drying down a lot more every time I come back here, just 2 days apart. But I'm gonna mow and see if I can get some of this mulched up a little bit. If it's not really working, I'm just gonna drive back to the farm and grab that 3-point disc and hit it with that. It's a lot drier than it was, like I said, a couple days ago, so this might not do anything. So we'll see. sure. All right, running the mower here. It's really doing a pretty nice job of mulching this stuff up again. I think the main thing at this point is probably just to go get the disc and I mean, it's all just loose, so I think you just got to disc it black, just till it as black as you can get a lot of this grass and junk just cut up, mulched up, worked into the ground. We'll see. I'm gonna give it go back, maybe give it an hour of disking just consistently and see what it looks like, and if it's gonna put all this thatch and everything into the ground and chew it all up, till some dirt, perfect. If not, probably have to wait until Nick gets back when I can get some extra help with water and get it raked away from the edges here and light the middle on fire and just kind of burn this stuff up. But I see that even today my issues continue a little bit here. I think I pumped that tire up like 3 times and apparently it's got a slow leak in it. So it's flat again, but minor issue. I'm gonna cruise back to the house. I'm gonna drop the mower off, put the disc on, and get back over here, get after it. All right, now we take the mower off. While I was back at the house here, I decided that I would check on the radiator again just to make sure it was cleared off. The temp gauge stayed lower than it did all week last week, so that was definitely the issue. And already, just after 20-30 minutes, all caked with debris, so apparently you need to blow that off every single time you use it in the summer. Hooked up here, should work pretty nice, and Nick's got the hired mowing service, taking care of the grass for him. It's lucky his mom's really nice. I'd make him mow it himself. What do you guys think? Been working on this plot inside the trees here for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half hour, and it's definitely starting to till up. The food plot seed that I'm thinking about planting doesn't require much for tillage, I would just say, and it's really small seeds, so I would think that, I know there's a lot of grass on here, it looks like it. I think maybe if I run a drag across this, get the thatch off the top, I would say it's more than enough tilled for that seed to grow. So that 3-point disc is working very, very nice, that's for sure. Well, I've been down in this bottom plot now, the half-acre plot, probably disking for, I don't know, 45 minutes or something, and I think my bad luck streak with equipment and stuff has continued. Having tractor troubles, and I have no idea what it is, but I can only, I can't help but think, I'm sure, something major, but basically, not sure what it is, but this is a hydrostatic transmission in this tractor. and the last 15 feet or whatever, it's when you press on the pedal, it kind of like pops back like it's not engaged or something. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. It's running perfectly, it's just now as soon as it started acting weird like that, I'm like, okay, we're done. So yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is going to be here. I'm gonna get underneath there and just see if I can see like some sort of linkage or something that would be disconnected or something like that, but I just hope this is something minor. I mean, it's not my tractor, it's theirs, or Nick's, so I don't want to be responsible for breaking this thing, but I'm going to get underneath here and see if I can see anything obvious. If not, probably one of the worst parts about this, or not the worst part, but another crappy part is going to be I'm over a mile off the road, or about a mile off the road, so I'm going to have to walk up to the road, and then I got to get a hold of someone to come get me. So if I can't get that, then I'm gonna have to walk like 2.5 miles back. So we'll see how this goes. Nothing obviously disconnected when I push the pedals up here. Things are moving like I would expect them to. So I don't know, maybe I'll go on Google and see what they say. You know, Google's never wrong, right? He's got a tractor like this, and he just said he's not sure, but things can be super finicky. And all I did is kind of went down and I just pressed on the brake, I guess, and all of a sudden shifted it back into the medium and gear, and like now she's working just fine. So I'm definitely not going to disc with it anymore right now. Get it back up to the house. Like I said, it's a couple miles away. Get it back up there. I think we need to, I just want to check like hydraulic fluid and things like that. Make sure everything's fine like from that front and go from there. I don't think it's anything major because it's working, but never a good feeling when all of a sudden it won't go into gear like it's supposed to and won't move. So I'm heading back to the farm. Got everything disked anyway, really. Maybe a couple, like 5, 10, maybe 10, 15 feet that didn't get disked with this, but I used my Ranger disc the other day on it. So I would say that I'm pretty safe to probably just grab the drag and the Ranger and come drag this stuff off, the thatch off, and I really think it's good to go. Biggest thing now is we need rain, and there's really no great chances of rain, but it's going to be one of those things that it's going to build out of nowhere probably, and you got to be ready to seed this thing, and that should only take tops an hour. So I need to get it to the point where it's ready, so if we do get that rain, that unlikely rain, I can throw the seed in the ground and it's ready to go. So if we miss rain at this time, who knows, it could be September, and for some of this stuff that's just too late to plant. So that's my update for today. I can tune back in here. I'll turn the camera back on if anything else happens where I figure out anything, but if not, I'll probably end the video here. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to follow along. Things are really going to pick up here as we get towards fall. Fall should be great. We've got a lot of crops to come out. Nick's first time doing this all by himself. He's got limited help, so it's going to be a lot of action. We should be able to get video from the grain cart, the combine, the semis, everything. So it should be pretty diverse video and should be fun to watch. So like I said, hit that subscribe button. If you got something you want to tell us, drop us a comment, any advice. We like that type of stuff, and we respond to all the comments. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.